everybody, this is Cole Thomas here with CT Running Report. Hope you all are having a great day. Today we got a very important guest, Cara Weber. And y'all, let me just tell you that this story that you're gonna hear today is gonna make you, it's just like so inspiring. And I think you all will really enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. I won't tell everybody about it because it's just so, it just makes me determined, you know? So yeah, so hope you all enjoy this. If you do, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe. If you want to be in it, let me know in the comments. Or if you know someone who else wants to be in it, let me know in the comments down below. We all have a great day, and I'll see y'all in the next one. So, Cara, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into running.
So I go to Eastern Michigan University and run for them. Sorry, if you hear growling, that's my dog in the background. But I'm from Northern Kentucky. I went to school at Larry A. Ryle High School, and I started running 7th grade, so in middle school, and my friend had just asked me like, hey, will you join the track team with me? And I was like, no, I don't really want to do that. She's like, please. So I was like, okay, fine. And so my plan back then was just to do no more than 1 lap around the track. I was like, I'm not doing any sort of long distance. And then at the end of that season, the track coach, who's also the cross country coach, had asked me, hey, have you ever considered doing cross country? And my face just went blank. And I was like, no, not really. And so he was like, I think you should join. I think you'd be a great distance runner. So I started running cross country in 8th grade and immediately made it on to the varsity team after, I think, 1 race. So I could tell my strength was, in fact, not in sprinting. And so, yeah, I've been running ever since. And this year, I think I'm going to start doing the 10K in track, actually, way more than 1 lap around the track.
Yeah. So what distance do you race right now?
So I've been doing the 5K a lot. The indoor season just ended, and so I did the 3K and 5K. And then for cross country, like any collegiate race, we do 5K and 6K for women.
So are you happy with how your indoor season and cross country season went?
I'm super happy with how my cross country season went. We got 3rd at MAC, which obviously, we wish to do better. But I mean, the year before that, I'm a junior, and even the 2 years before that, my freshman and sophomore year, I was very slow. I am very much willing to admit that. And when I mean slow, I mean my 6K time my sophomore year was a 26 something, and I just finished my 6K time my junior year this year with a time of 22:04. So
really good.
Yeah, it's over a 4-minute difference. So yeah, I am extremely happy with how it ended, being able to go and travel to Texas and compete at the MAC meet for my first time ever. Indoor season, I would have loved to be able to compete for MAC. I missed that by like 1 spot in the 5K.
Dang.
But yeah, I know. But it's just fueling me for outdoor, and it'll keep fueling me so that next year I can make it in the MAC meet for indoor.
Any goals you have for outdoor this year?
Outdoor, I'd say as long as she puts me in the 5K, I'd love to be able to beat my current 5K PR, and it'd be pretty cool if I could make it to MAC in the 10K.
What is your 5K time?
My 5K time right now for the PR is 17:34.
And did you do that last year or this season indoor?
Yeah, I just did it this season
Um,
in indoor.
do you prefer indoor or outdoor more?
Um, it's kind of hard to say going but from like indoor to outdoor. Like immediately I'm like, oh my God, put me back inside. I do not want to deal with this wind or any of this outdoor weather. But once once it gets a little better, I definitely enjoy outdoor. But I think indoor I feel a lot faster because I'm doing the laps a lot faster since they're shorter laps.
So when you're racing, do you like keep track of your splits in your head of where you're trying to go, or do you just run and just see what happens?
I usually do have a plan. I'll discuss it with my coaches and we'll say, okay, this is kind of like the time that we're going for, or, you need to stay with like this group of runners. And when I have more of like a time to go for, we'll discuss the splits, whether they're 200, 300, or 400-meter splits. And my coaches will usually like yell me the splits during the race so I know if I'm like staying on pace or not.
And what usually is a race strategy? Do they usually have like, do you like just try to go up front and like try to be up front, just like be consistently throughout the whole race? Even like what do you usually do for like race plan? I guess.
So I don't get out very fast. There is not a bit of sprinter in me. So, usually what I'll do is get out to the best of my ability. And then, within like a lap or two, I'll usually kind of have to surge for a little bit and get up with, like the upper pack of people. And then usually like throughout the race, my coach is saying, okay, you got in this, now get to the next pack, get to the next pack. So yeah, I'm pretty used to just gradually moving my way up in the race.
Yeah, cause so my biggest problem about when I race is that I always want to go out way too hard. Just like I feel great. I feel like and I always feel like burn out too easily. It's like I run the first mile too hard, and then I'm like tired for the rest of it. So that's everything I try to do is like don't go out. Especially for me, like like when I do a half marathon and stuff. Like I feel, oh, it's a nice morning. It's a nice morning. I feel like I'm ready to run fast, and I run first mile fast, and then I am tired. After that, it's like, ugh. So like that's everything I have learned to try not to do that, because it's not helpful when you burn out and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like one of the reasons my coach is moving me up into like the 10K because I don't have the speed to like go out super fast and then hold it for like, an 800 or a mile person. So I can go out at a decent pace and hold that for a while and um, I'll be doing that in the 10K because if you're going to go out way too fast for the first mile in the 10K and you got another 5.2 miles, you might just want to step off the track.
So like any time goals for the 10K you're hoping for, or just seeing what you run like?
I'll probably get time goals going off of how I do in my first 10K race. I mean, I've never done it before in my life, so I'll just go out there and see what I'm capable of.
So but are there like any ideas of where you can run, or just oh you've no clue?
I have no clue, honestly. I haven't even talked to my coaches about it yet. I don't think I'll be probably running it for like another month. So currently I'm just training and doing like some longer workouts and long runs than I've done in the past.
Do you have a favorite workout you've done?
Um, I a lot of people hate this, but I love doing like 1K tempos. The tempo is, where I can thrive at. The other day we had 500s. I did not thrive at that.
Um, do you have a favorite of racing that you've had, like a favorite race or favorite moment of racing that you have from like college, high school, any time, really?
Yeah, I'd say there's probably two that stand out to me. The first one was from last outdoor season. It was kind of like the indoor season my sophomore year, where at the end of it, where I was like, okay, I'm kind of tired of, you know, not being that good. So I really put my head down and started working my butt off on things. And by like the end of outdoor season, I had run in 1857, I believe, for the 5K, which was a huge step for me at that point. And I had no idea I was about to pull that off. I was hoping like, okay, I hope I can do like a 1930 right now. And so I crossed that line at 1857, and once I get back to like my phone, I immediately call who was the assistant coach at the time, and because I think he was at a different meet, and he answers the phone and he goes, "What's up, superstar?" And I was like, "How do you know how I did?" Like I was so excited. Apparently, one of my teammates had like texted or called him already and told him what I did. So that was like a huge step for me, and just having like knowing my coach was like that excited and proud, it made me so happy. And then I'd say the other time would be this past December, the first indoor meet that we had, and I did a 1742. Again, I had no idea I had that capability in me. And so I crossed the line at that, and I'm like, holy crap. And my coaches come up and they're like, you couldn't have done anything more perfectly than that. Like I told you to do this and you did exactly that. And like I was just so excited at the time. So yeah.
So was that the first time you broke 18?
Yeah.
Were you expecting that at all, or would just coming up like coming out of nowhere?
I think we were hoping that I could do like an 18 flat, because my time for the cross country season right before that, my PR was like 1838 or something like that. And so I was like, okay, I'm hoping going on to like the track, I can at least do like 18 flat or somewhere around that. And I was thinking, okay, maybe I can get like just under it if I keep like the pace and then kind of push it at the end. I had no idea I was about to do a 1742.
Do you think that you go 16 this year?
I would love to be able to break 17. I mean, I feel like that's kind of one of the goals that I have for myself in my head, but it's like I don't know if that's like possible, so I don't want to say it out loud, but yeah, that's kind of something that I'm hoping for.
Are you glad that they are a runner, like that they are running on a team and stuff?
I am, yeah. Running definitely keeps me sane when I have to like take a break for, like a week or whatever after the season. The entire week I'm like, I have nothing to do today. I feel like I've accomplished nothing. What do I do with my life? So I'm super happy, and I'm so happy for like the team that I have as well. I mean, just everybody is so supportive of each other, and so I mean, you can just the love that we have for each other on this team really pushes us.
Yeah, like do you miss your do you like college team more than your high school team? Like, do you like that environment more than the high school team, or do you like it about the same?
I'd say I definitely like it a lot more than my high school team. I don't know, I feel like everybody is a lot closer to each other on my college team than like we were on my high school team, or at least like I am a lot closer to my college teammates than I was my high school teammates. Also, I just didn't like high school that much. I think I was ready to get out. My freshman year of high school, I had brain surgery. So after brain surgery, it was quite difficult. And then, like, everybody in my high school, like, it was my high school seemed very like political. And so I'm walking around, and there's like literally in the movies, like, these are the popular kids and these are the weird kids. And I was just like, okay, I'm ready to get to college. I feel like I've grown up faster than everybody else at this school right now. So yeah, I mean, the team that I have right now, I really enjoy being around a lot more than my high school team.
So what do you have brain surgery for?
So I have epilepsy. I've had it since second grade. And the seizures just kept getting a lot worse the older that I was getting. We tried at least 5 different types of medication. None of them at all actually controlled the seizures. I mean, they controlled it to an extent, but not totally. Um, so yeah, by the time I was 13 or however old you are when you're freshman in high school, um, the doctors had sat me down and they were like, okay, there's a few different things that we can do to try and start preventing your seizures. And brain surgery was one of them, and that's kind of the one that they had suggested the most. And they were like, it's up to you though. And I was like, yeah, I really don't care what we do. I just do not want to have seizures anymore because it had started to affect my running a lot. One of the things that really frustrated me was at regionals for high school, I was about to like PR, and I was the first one on my team to come through, and it was going really well. And then on the straightaway, I start seizing and I fall down, and I just can't control anything at all. And so one of my coaches had to pull me out of the race, and then I couldn't compete at state since I didn't finish the regionals race. Like it was common for me to have seizures while running. I'd still run. I would just like zone out or slow down a lot. But never had I ever experienced something like I did that day. I mean, I had no control. I couldn't even speak. It was hard to think for a minute, for a while. So yeah, I was like, I don't care what we do. If brain surgery is what you think will be best, let's do that, because I'd like to be able to still run and, have control of my body while running. So yeah, I had brain surgery my freshman year of high school, and they took out about half of my front left temporal lobe, about 10% of my brain. And I had to stay away from school for about a month, and totally away from society for about 2 weeks after the surgery. I was in the hospital for 10 days, and there's technically like 2 different surgeries. The first one is they had opened my head up to my brain, and they put electrodes directly on my brain, and I was off medication for about a week so that they could get more precise knowledge of where specifically the seizures were coming from. And then after that week, they went in and took part of my brain out of me. They took out as much as they could because it was coming from like the language area of my brain, and they were worried that if they took any more out, I'd like totally be screwed when it came to speaking stuff. Even with how much they took out, like I had to go to speech therapy afterwards, because I remember coming back home from the hospital and my brothers put a pen in my face and they were like, "What is this?" And I'm like, I know what this is, I just don't know what it's called. So a lot of, the simpler words I couldn't even remember. And my coach at the time he actually put me in race walking to help with my form a little bit for AAU. And then 6 months after the brain surgery, I was also doing the 1500, and I managed to win my heat in the 1500 with a time of 5:25. And I feel like that point I was like, okay, yeah, I feel like I'm back and I'm ready to be better. So yeah, just long story short, I had epilepsy and I still do, and I was tried to stop the seizures completely, but it didn't work. But now I'm on like a high dosage of a controlled substance for medication, and it totally controls the seizures now.
So you don't have them anymore?
As long as I stay consistent with my medication, which I have been doing for the past however many years, no, I haven't had any.
Um, so what was it like getting brain surgery? Like, did you have a lot of people like when you get back to school, like surround, like help you at all? Like just be normal?
Yeah, I had a lot of help. I remember even before the brain surgery, people were like, "Are you nervous?" And I was like, "No, I'm not the one doing the surgery. I'm gonna be knocked out." And apparently that scared my mom. So I'm just sitting here like, I'm not doing it. Why would I be nervous? But yeah, coming back from surgery, I had to get a 504 plan, and I was in like English honors, and I had to move to like the lower level, and I had a lot of help and a lot of accommodations because of the brain surgery, I got aphasia, which made it very hard for me to kind of learn, and definitely read too. Like it took a lot more help for me to really comprehend things. And I've improved a lot since then. But yeah, no, I required a lot of help in school right after that.
You still like it? Like all things 100 back to normal now? Like, can you like do schoolwork and all that stuff normally now?
I'd say it's not like 100% back to normal, and it may never will be. But I definitely do not require nearly as much help. I still have accommodations, but I don't really use most of them. And even the ones that I do use, like extended time, because, it might take me longer on something because of, just I'm working a little bit slower. I only have 90% of a brain. But, it's probably like 95% back to normal. So I don't notice it as much anymore, but there's many times, almost every day, that I'm still like, crap, what's that word? I can't remember it.
So what are your plans like after college? Like, s- we keep running. We you like what's next after college? I- If you know yet.
So I study interior design here at Eastern, so I am planning to, whatever job comes my way, I'm planning to accept that and, move wherever it is. I've thought about the running part myself. I have a twin, and she swam for college. She just finished her collegiate career, and she was like, what do I do now? Like, swimming was my life. And everybody's like, well, what was your hobby? And it's like, my hobby was swimming. What would you do in your free time? I'd sleep, you know? So, I'm kind of like the same way with running. I'm like, oh, so when the day comes, I'll be like, what do I do now? I don't know what to do with it. So I'll probably keep running, just daily, and maybe do like some random 5Ks here and there. I'd love to be able to, keep competing and stuff, but I have no idea. But at bare minimum, I'll still just go out and do like daily runs.
I guess my last question I have is, do you have any like role models in the like sport, track and field, like role models in general?
Um, I'd say there are a few. One of them being some of my coaches. So, a coach that I had last year, he transferred to another team this year. He was kind of one of the reasons why I had started to really push myself as well. I, um, my high school coach kind of, it seemed like he gave up on me towards the end of high school. So I kind of really, I love to run for people. Everybody says, run for yourself, and that can help sometimes, but I love to run for people. Like, I want to make people proud. It just helps me. I don't know why. So I really felt like I didn't have anyone to make proud anymore, which is why I kind of like declined. But when this coach came along, like he really seemed to believe in me and put like, the effort into coaching me. So I really started to pick it up. So he was a huge role model for me. But some of my coaches now that I have who are assistant coaches, they joined Eastern kind of similar to how I did, not in the highest of conditions. Definitely like one of the people at the very bottom of the team. And they graduated as some of the absolute best. And so, it's kind of what I'm reaching for. I joined barely able to keep up on the 2 mile warm up, and I'm reaching to do exactly like them, go and be one of the top people out there. So yeah, I'd say those are my role models.
Do you have anything else that you got to add that have not been asked you or mentioned, or anything else you'd like to add?
Um I would just say, like, people are gonna come around, and they might kind of mess with you mentally. That was, like, I also had ankle surgery because I broke my ankle running with one of my dogs. And it was easier coming back from ankle surgery and brain surgery than it was any mental health issue that I've ever dealt with, because I am diagnosed with depression and anxiety and PTSD. And the mental like illness that I've dealt with was so much harder to come back than it ever was the brain surgery or ankle surgery. And so I would just say, like, people will always come around in life and, try and mess with you. But just keep your head down. You don't let them get to you. I know it's easier said than done, but don't let them get to you, and your time will come. I'd say that's kind of like something that was a huge learning process for me.
Well, that's all the questions I got. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. This is so